Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Threesome Pod. This week, a Christmas special with wonderful guests from all over the shop. Some dressed Christmassy, some dressed their house Christmassy, and some in a studio with no Christmas spirit there. We are here with the usual crowd. We've got Mike. How are you, Mike?
Very well, yes. Although losing my voice slightly. But yeah, it'll persist for another hour or so.
It needs to persist for your finale.
It's quite the finale coming our way, yeah.
That's going to take a lot of editing, your finale, I imagine. Anthony, how are you?
I'm all good, mate. I'm not too bad at all. Feeling very festive.
Good. You're looking very festive.
Thank you. Do you like my carrot?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, definitely. That won't work very well on audio. It's just going to look.
This is true.
Sound weird. Okay, and then going round the circle I can see in front of me, we have Lewis, who is fairly new to fantasy football, or fairly well. No, you just do it all, but you always do the same thing.
Yeah, I've been playing it for years. Pick a team and then don't ever change it.
And your team usually is comprised of just Spurs players or people related to Spurs.
Yeah, that's the normal plan. This year, with our lack of buying and selling over the years, I was limited and couldn't make a full team. So I've included Bournemouth players as well this year.
Oh, lovely stuff.
It's appreciated. We should point out for anybody watching the video of the pod that Lewis hasn't come in fancy dress. He is actually a vicar. So that's it's not for the Christmas special.
And I always wear this jumper. This isn't fancy dress.
No, of course.
Below Lewis here we have Matt the Pocket Rocket, as Mike likes calling him. Polly
Pocket. Okay, yeah, good.
Any puns on Pocket, Matt? And you're from a lot further afield.
Yeah, I'm from the U.S. I'm in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, so that's a little bit of a swim for you fellas. I've got to say there are no known relatives with Polly as either.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Okay, so
it's a shame. It's a shame.
Matt, yeah, I consider you to be quite an expert on fantasy football.
It's funny because this is my first year actually seriously playing too.
Right, how are you getting on?
This week I have posted a grand total of 27 actually.
Ooh.
It's fantastic.
Ouch.
Yeah, and
27.
That's with no penalties either. So it's been brilliant. I mean, I had Ings, Captain Kane, let's see here, Bamford, who had a week that would make Mike very proud.
Dear, yeah.
And the draft leagues that I'm in, I mean, you know me, I'm big on those, but they looked good as far as Liverpool was concerned. And then, hitching my wagon to the Danny Ings post didn't go well there either. And then Bruno Fernandes basically ended my soul. So
I'm curious, Matt, over in the US, how much of a big thing is there much of a community over there? I know online kind of broad brushes everything and makes it globalizes everything really, but is it a big deal over there?
I don't really think so. I mean, fantasy NFL is a massive thing. A lot of people play fantasy baseball. There's a little bit of fantasy basketball and hockey too, but FPL, I think it's taking off a little bit more in the last few years. I mean, the sport here as a whole, I mean, football was kind of looked at as this boring soccer, right? I mean, people didn't like it here for a long time. And I'd say over the last 10 to 15 years, it's really picked up. And, you can thank the U.S. men's national team for that, except for the last World Cup cycle. That was grim.
Do you follow a team?
A bit, yeah. The USMNT. They've got some good players now on the up and up. Pulisic, I mean, he's been kind of the guy, but you've also got guys like Dest coming through and some other good prospects. Club side, Bournemouth. It's the place to be.
Well, you're welcome back anytime, Matt.
Well, thank you.
Next to Matt, then we've got Jay, also known as Stadium of Sports on Twitter. He's very active on there. Jay, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Really excited to be on it.
And you again seem to be very wise in a fantasy football way. Have you been playing the game a long time?
I have been playing it for a while, only seriously for the last 3 years. So I think before we just me and my brothers, but now it's kind of I'm trying to be an expert at it, but I'm failing miserably. And I'm blaming it on Mike because I've taken a lot more hits this year than I ever have before.
Oh, welcome aboard. A few transfers, eh?
Yeah, fair few.
I've lost count now, but I think I'm closing in on 300. How about you, Jay?
I don't even want to count. Every time I start the week, I think I'm not going to do anything until the end of the week. And I listen to your pod on a Monday night, and then when I'm making transfers the next day, I'm like, I need to find a remedy for this.
Yeah. Well, you and me both.
You should know by
an
now.
Absolute trap.
Yeah, you should know by now. Never listen to Mike. Never.
True story.
He sounds so convincing. Do you know, it just sounds like I think, oh, okay.
You can tell he's in sales.
Yeah.
The numbers on Mike at one point. I think it was when he said that he was in the 220s, and I believe he had transferred out on average every week his starting 11 twice.
Yeah.
That is a great
fingers. Itchy fingers. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Next, then we've got Harry. Harry, you're a beginner. Would that be fair to say? Beginner fantasy football player, expert gardener.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, a total beginner. I only started because I started listening to you boys on the pod, and I thought, well, I may as well try and join in. So the caveat to the whole thing is I only started in week 3. So the moral victory is actually mine. So despite me being right at the bottom of your league, I feel that I might be winning. And in actual fact, I've had my best game week this week on a massive 74 points.
Well done, that man.
Very nice, mate. Very tidy.
We got a message from you. I should point out, we've known Harry for quite a while, and managed to kind of coerce him into doing this. And you weren't particularly taking it seriously. And then I think this week I saw actual rage in text form when Salah was benched and you captain.
Oh, Captain Salah, yeah.
And suddenly it just turned around, right? I mean, how many points did you get from the captaining him in the end?
I've absolutely no idea. About 30, I think.
It was a pretty decent
show. That 12:45 on Saturday, I was having a slight breakdown in my kitchen. But no, things turned around quickly, and I felt slightly embarrassed about all the swear words that I'd used on WhatsApp. It was fine.
It was. I found the message. It was Captain Salah. New message. New message. Expletive.
Yes.
New message. Sake. New message. I. New message. Hate. New message. This. New message. Stupid. New message. Game.
Absolutely.
Very angry.
It was only the one expletive.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
That's absolutely. I haven't been so cross since about week 5 when I followed Ant's advice in getting Lacazette into my team, and triple captained him because I was so sure that Ant was going to be absolutely right. I should point out that when I first set this up, I tried to do a pop star 11.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Tried to get people that was something to do with pop stars. When I went for Jamie Vardy, I thought I was really scraping the barrel there. So I've kind of given that up. But it's got serious now.
Got serious. And above you then, Rob. Rob, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
You take this quite seriously in with your friends?
Oh, I do, yeah. I've been playing for about 10 years or so, but this is much bigger for me now. Actually, speaking to you in person, Phil, I've bought quite a few of your belts. I can recommend they are of the highest quality. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
Perhaps they could sponsor the show.
No.
Hand stitched by his children.
Phil, why don't you just talk us through that whole process of how you make a belt again? Because that was really interesting.
I would love to, but
he starts by taking his top off.
That was it. Yeah.
Out comes the baby oil.
That's perhaps what happens. So let's move on from that disgraceful image. I thought we'd quickly go over our highlights and lowlights, either of the season or of our sort of FPL history. I'll give you time to think. But Mike and Ant have been briefed on this because it was their idea. So I'll go to them first. Mike, highlight, or do you just want to list off some lowlights?
No, I'll do a highlight. This week's looking good. I'm on 86 points at the moment, and that's without a goalkeeper. So I'm pretty happy with that. Justin's just about to come off the bench as well because Reece James isn't playing tonight. So that takes me to what, 94, and then hopefully a contribution from Mount as well. So yeah, I think this week's a highlight.
Yeah, Mount's already got an assist, I think.
Is this your best week, Mike?
Yeah, I think it probably is. Hit form at just the right time.
Right on Christmas. Lovely stuff.
Right on Christmas. Beautiful.
So is that after you've taken off all your transfer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I made at least 4 subs. So yeah, I think I've lost 12 points there. That's a good shout.
So that is minus 12.
Yeah. So all right. So 82 then I think is probably my net score at the moment.
That's pretty good though, mate.
Yeah,
You'll take that.
By my standards, it's pretty decent.
And you got any particular highlights?
Well, as always, I do like getting one over you, mate. So it has to be a couple of weeks ago when you mocked me on WhatsApp just after I brought in James Maddison. And then you were a little bit smug before Leicester played that week because you got about 30 more points than me. And then I got 40 points from 3 Leicester players, one of which was James Maddison, who scored 16 points on his own. That was a particularly joyous moment. And without doubt, my highlight.
Happy.
Well, yeah, it doesn't take much, but yeah, that was definitely my highlight. Probably my low light has been the last 2 weeks and having an absolute shed load of points sat on my bench. Last week I had about 15 points sat on my bench, and then this week I've got another about 12 or 13. So in fact, the first one being James Justin, who got 8.
That's disappointing, isn't
Sorry
it?
to hear that, Ant.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm sure you're gutted, Mike. But yeah, especially when I had Aurier on there who got 1, who I brought in. But we won't talk about that. So, Phil, what's yours?
Well, my highlight of the season is probably the feeling of going from rage to happiness when listener Mickey Race chose my captain as Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I was furious because, it goes against everything I believe in, having captain in the first game. And so I was sending you a lot of angry messages, and then he got a hat-trick. Low point probably this season would be trying to be shrewd and putting Saliba in defence for Arsenal for the first game of the season, walking into B&Q to collect the toilet seat. I mean, it was such a miserable scene, holding a toilet seat in one hand and then seeing that Saliba wasn't even in the squad. And then I already had to start making transfers. So that was disappointing.
Yeah, that wasn't your best shout, was it, of the season? Let's be honest.
That's because I read Twitter too much. Too many people were saying, yeah, this guy, he's going to be great.
Didn't you? Was he the guy that you said that Arsenal were going to base their team around this season as well?
That was El Neni.
Was that somebody else?
Of bad advice, that one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not a lot better.
Yeah. I dropped El Neni fairly quickly. Lewis, you don't make changes, so you can't blame yourself really for anything.
No, but I believe I don't make any changes. Obviously, the highlight of the season is being on the pod, of course.
Correct answer.
Well, lovely stuff.
Am I above Mike? I've not checked the league.
I think you might be, Lewis. I mean,
if I am, that very much is my highlight.
Lewis,
let me have a look.
Lewis, let's just rewind because, after the first few game weeks, mate, you were above all of us. You had an absolute flying start.
I was. I think it was after that point when I started to drop like a stone. I stopped looking so often. I did have quite a moment many years ago when I had more time on my hands, and I remember having Van Nistelrooy and Michael Owen in my team, and one scored 4 and one scored 3, and I was at some heady heights in the league at that point in time, but that was many a year ago.
Out of interest, Rob, you make lots of changes, do you?
I don't make loads of changes, no, but it's probably, this is going to sound like such an average answer. I get 50 to 60 points a week. It's so boring. I haven't had one week where I've had a blowout, and I got caught out big time by the midweek games last week.
Oh no!
Yeah, whose decision it was to start games at 4:30 or close the pickings at 4:30 was that was crazy. So
I mean, we did warn you on the pod, mate. Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
It was out late though. It was out late.
Yeah, I think Mike took up about the first 15 minutes of puns or something. So
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, Lewis, you picked you. So you haven't touched your team from the start of the season.
I think I may have made a change and then changed it back on game week 1 or 2.
Okay, because you are. I've just checked. You're above Mike. You're above Rob. You're above Matt, and you're above Harry, who started 3 weeks late. So you've done pretty well.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I do have the advantage of never in my life being able to pick an Arsenal player, which has been quite a good thing this season.
Yeah, that's probably very helpful. Matt, what highlights, lowlights have you had in fantasy football?
So highlight had to have been week 1 in my draft league because I picked Zaha, who scored 12, Allison, who scored 12, Barnes scored 10, Hamas 10, Mane 13, Lacazette and Antonio scored, and Ings had 10. I had 85 in my first week.
Wow.
And I felt like the king of the world. Low light had to have been last week because I scored and this was with amazing fixtures, right? And I scored a grand total of 18.
Yowza.
18.
Sorry, what?
118.
Wow.
Hawkins 1, Ings 1, Gabriel Jesus 2. My high scorer was Loris with 4. I
Matt,
hate this game. It was terrible.
I don't think I've
Like I'm watching
genuinely.
the score come in, and it's just one thing after another, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! Like I've got Fulham, I've got Sheffield United, both like just targeted, right? I'm ready to go. This is my week. Brighton and Hove Albion are on there, and I'm watching just blanks coming in all over the place. It's like, you got to be kidding me. This game, huh? This game.
Jay,
Wow.
what about you?
Well, my highlight's been writing my articles. Obviously, mental
Yeah.
health and sport is really important to me, and the response I've got from the FPL community has been brilliant. And it's kind of made me want to write more and make sure that there's people out there that can listen to. It's all right to talk, and we can, all kind of be in this together. So that's been a real highlight for me. But also, I did a review of your show, and in that show, I said that this would be great for a YouTube channel. And so here we are. So I'm going to take credit for it. I want to take credit for something this season, so I'm going to take credit for that one.
Yeah, good call. We're going to upload it to YouTube because we had all sorts of issues frantically before everyone came on. We're going to upload it to YouTube tonight rather than be live because we had all sorts of issues linking it and Zoom wouldn't play ball. So that was in your article. Yeah, so you should say you write a blog about fantasy football and mental health, and it's great. There's loads of good articles on there. So you started
shout out the
this
Twitter
season,
handle,
didn't you?
Phil.
Well, let Jay shout out his Twitter handle because it's Stadium of Sports, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at stadiumsports.com.
Harry, what about you?
Well, it's got to be this week, isn't it? Surely. I've just realised, actually, this is how much I don't know about the game, that someone coming off the bench is going to get me another 6 points. So I'm actually on 80 points this week.
Oh my days.
So that's very exciting. Low light, I did transfer in an injured player, which I then made another transfer. No, sorry, I beg your pardon. It was that I spent too much money and it wouldn't let me transfer them, but it took away one of my free transfers. I had 2 for the week, and then I had to make another one. That was a pretty low ebb on my point, but that's probably just because I haven't really looked at the rules.
We've all been there, Harry. We've all been there.
And poor old Sander Christenberg is now he is my favourite player. I couldn't tell you what he looks like, but he's my favourite player.
Rob, what about you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I mean, I thought I'd already answered the question, Phil.
Oh, had you?
Yeah, pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you
It
what,
was-
though, my highlight is being here, catching you out.
He does this every week, Rob. Don't worry.
What a-
He'll go to the wrong name or the wrong
No,
name.
because
bless him.
on the audio, I can just edit it out. It's fine.
It's all
Phil,
good.
can I mention my low light? Because I need to get off my chest.
Yeah, do it.
Well, it's been this game week. Captaining Kane, having Fernandes and Salah. And then because of COVID, I've been phoning my parents every day. And then, when your dad just looks at you on video and he just smiles at you, like he doesn't want to boast about it. He just smiles at you. It just made me feel like a 10-year-old where I'm trying to prove to my dad that, I'm capable of being his son. And he's just looking at me with amusement. Like, I'm still your dad,
Oh.
me.
So do you
And
get?
he's on 94 points or something. He's still
Oh wow.
right. So I was kind of like, okay, all right.
Do you get competitive with your dad on it then?
Yeah, it's really strange because I've got a number of mini leagues, and it's the family league that's the most competitive. You know, we talk about it over like dinner. We talk about it all the time on the phone, and the competition is a lot more intense. Especially when me and my brothers are really into it. My dad's kind of semi-casual, and seems to, which is always a bit nerve-wracking. He just kind of just pulls something out, and then I look at him and think, why did he pick that player? Like he picked Neto last week, and I was thinking, okay, why do you want Neto? and he goes and scores against Chelsea. I was thinking, you know, sometimes you just got to, bite your tongue a bit.
It has been one of those seasons.
Yeah, it
Phil,
really has been.
Phil, I see on the running order you've got a preview of Boxing Day to come, but before that, Ant, I do believe there's a caller on the line. So,
is there? I wonder if they're going to be Northern this week.
I'm going to nip away. I'm going to get a drink, but I do believe there's a okay.
Okay, here we go. Hello, FPL podcast.
Hello.
Oh, is this Alan Frost again?
Well, it is Alan. I just wanted to recount a story quickly.
Oh, okay, Alan. Yeah, go for it. Please do.
You see, I was going to sleep and I was met by the ghost of Christmas past. And he talked to me and showed me some of the silly things I'd said on your podcast.
Right. Okay.
Then I met the ghost of Christmas future. And it was me. And I was trapped on Brexit Island, suffering with COVID.
Oh my goodness.
And it's made me see the errors of my ways. So
Um.
I just wanted to say, Merry Christmas, everyone. And let's be inclusive and show lots of love this Christmas.
Okay. Well, that's lovely. Thank you, Alan. Have a lovely Christmas.
Shout out to Tiny Tim.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Oh, the lovely Alan Frost. What a lovely caller.
Lovely.
Running order, Michael. Running order.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
But wasn't it lovely to hear from Alan Frost and his lovely opinions once again?
And his dog, apparently. Was that your dog?
Not my dog. Not
someone's dog.
Not this week, anyway.
My dog.
Oh, it's your dog.
Oh.
Well, that's lovely. Lovely to have another guest in. That's right. Sorry. Back to running order, Phil.
So I believe we need to go over our punts.
Do we have to?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's just skip that bit. It's fine.
Let's do it.
We don't need it.
Well, I'll start by saying that I was delighted to see United hammer a load of goals against Leeds, thinking, hello, Paul Pogba. And he didn't get off the bench, did he? So no points for me on that score.
Yeah, not much better for me. Sergio Aguero is back to fitness now. I thought he's bound to play. Man City not in very good form. Hard game away at Southampton. No, did nothing. I think he might have played, but that's about it. So, Phil, it's an absolute open goal here for you, mate. Who did you have?
I can't remember who I had.
We're pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Danny Welbeck, isn't it?
Yeah, it pains me to say it because that would make you the winner, but it was Danny Welbeck.
No, I mean, I'll take it.
Rob's nodding quite a lot. So
yeah, Rob has no idea. I'll take it if
Welbeck
you want.
last week.
But it was Danny Welbeck, I think, the week before.
So who was it?
I think it was Danny Welbeck this week.
Yeah, it was, mate. I'm afraid. I mean, just take it.
I mean, don't be afraid. I'll take a win. That's fine. I'll take a win. Cool. So I get to pick one of your captains.
Indeed.
You do. And to find out whose team you're going to tamper with, we get to play a festive game of every second mounts. And
with teams.
I don't have the sound. What
teams.
now? With teams?
Yep. So we'll split it how I can see it.
Oh,
really.
okay.
That's
Yeah, cool.
best.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So that means, and you get 3 teammates, but one of them is Harry. Okay.
No, Harry's well and truly proven tonight.
We do not want a repeat of Mike Stagdo, please. Not my fault.
What a stag do.
And you've got Rob and you've got Jay. Okay. Which leaves Mike with Lewis and Matt. Okay.
All right. Cool.
So we're just doing the one question, or have you got a question for each other?
I've got a question.
I've got a category here for you two.
But I mean, you're.
Oh, hang on, you've won. Oh yeah, no, that's.
I mean, I've won, so it would just be my question, I suppose.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, go on. No,
Right.
you've got a question. You've got a question. We'll do a like when you're at a kid's party. We'll do a practice round.
Okay, cool. All right, so
I have zero idea what's happening here.
don't worry, it's gonna be fun.
All right.
So basically, I'm going to give a category. I'm going to ask a question. There's going to be multiple answers available, and you guys are going to have to decide between you how many of the available answers you think you can name without getting any incorrect. My team will then get the opportunity to go higher or lower. Let's see how we go.
Oh, okay. So for your question, then it's just Matt and Lewis. That's because you're asking a question.
Yeah,
to your own
Matt
team.
and Lewis are on my team, aren't they? So yeah, they'll be representing me. So Anthony,
yes,
and teammates. He has managed Sam Allardyce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 football teams.
Wow.
How many of those Sam Allardyce managed football teams can your team name?
Well, what do we think, team? 8? Does that sound fair? Oh, Rob's going 4. Great. Matt, Harry, any advance on 4?
Well, Matt's not on your team, so
okay, good.
don't try that.
It looks like he might know the answer, though. So it's a shame.
Jay, yeah, I was going to say, come on, Matt. Jay or Harry, then any more than? I mean, I'm saying 8. I mean, I can't think of them right now.
Is that Premier League teams?
Premier League? No, it's all teams.
All teams. Jay, what do you reckon?
I think we could do 6.
Okay. Let's put 6. Let's go 6.
I think what's happened there is Jay's heard you say 8, and he knows you too well.
Yeah.
So Lewis and Matt, do you reckon you can bet a 6, or do we let them play? I reckon we could bet a 6.
But yeah, you've got the answers, Mike.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
just go. This is going swimmingly.
I reckon you guys.
YouTube, guys.
I'm not sure I could beat 6.
Really?
With Mike having the answers, we can do them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. 14.
What do you reckon, guys? Could you do more than 6? I'll leave it up to you.
I don't think I could do more than 6.
Okay. All right, 6 it is then, unless Matt wants to really go for it.
Deep breath.
What are we thinking, Matt?
7.
7.
He's gone 7.
Wow, okay.
Ooh.
So now it's whether you want to go 8, Phil's team. Sorry, Ant's team.
I don't think I can name 8. Anybody else? Rob, you think you can?
Why not?
He hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know what day of the week it is. Brilliant. Jay?
No, let them play that.
Yeah,
Rob,
all right.
Rob is sort of saying 8 with gay abandon, knowing that it makes no difference to him whatsoever whether you win this or not.
Let's do 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off
Okay.
you go then.
Right, Matt
Let's hear it.
and Lewis, between you, we need to find 7.
Okay. Well, I'll go Bolton.
Bolton is 1.
Does this include the national team?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So England.
Yeah, that's 2.
That went really well.
Does
Any
it
more?
include West Brom?
West Brom is 3.
Okay. West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham was on my list.
Yeah, West Ham is 4.
Everton.
Yes, it's 5. 2 more needed.
This is quite tense, isn't it?
Isn't it? I know, yeah. I had tension music, but I can't find it yet.
Oh,
Did-
this has been the perfect moment.
Did he manage Newcastle? That's what I can't.
Yes, he did, Lewis.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
6. You need 1 more.
Blackpool.
Blackpool is correct, Matt
Oh,
Pocket.
I wouldn't have got Blackpool.
No.
I
In for
read
team, Mike.
So
Matt, that is impressive knowledge on Blackpool, I have to say. Very, very impressive.
When was that?
That was his first, I think it was his first managerial appointment, actually, Blackpool. Yeah, 1994 to 1996.
How did you even get that, Matt? That's incredible knowledge.
it's funny. I read an article about him in The Athletic just this morning, and they were talking about going as far back as when he took the job at Blackpool. So back then.
Oh,
Hang on. So Mike has a question about Sam Allardyce, and Matt just read an article on Sam Allardyce this morning.
It's what I like to call fate. So, right, we've got a question from my side then.
Okay, shall I give you a question?
Yeah, because
Please
if I
do.
get this one right, if we get this one right, then you're definitely picking Anand's team.
for the
He'll
fourth
like
week
that for a
running.
Fourth week.
Fourth week running. Fourth week running.
But
Okay.
last week, what happened to your captain? Because I chose your captain last week. What did I say to you?
You were very kind, actually. You did let me pick my captain, and I did go for Callum Wilson, who kindly fell over in the box and got me 18 points. So if you want to do that again, mate, please do.
That was definitely a dive.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right.
We've seen that before. So the question is then, with me being fed up with De Bruyne, and he's going to fund my my moves this week. What players have got more points than De Bruyne this season?
Oh.
And there are
Wow.
a few answers. I'd say probably about. But do you want to know exactly how many?
Yes.
Please do, mate.
I'd guess about 16.
So that's not the exact number. Okay, so about 16. So Lewis and Matt, we get to go first. What do we reckon? I reckon I can name 7 or 9, Matt. Okay.
Why not?
All right, we'll say 9.
Wow, that's quite high. Jay, Rob, Harry, what do you think? Can we get 10?
Yeah, we can get 10.
Yeah, let's do it. 10.
Don't look at me for any help because
Jay looked very confident there. So
all right, I'm letting them have it, guys. If you're happy to let them have it, 10 out of 16 is pretty good.
I'm going to be no help at all.
Pretty good effort.
It's 10 out of approximately 16.
Approximately 16, yeah. Okay.
So who've got more points than Kevin De Bruyne, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so Harry Kane.
Correct. 1.
Son.
Can someone do me a favour and count these, please?
I'm counting with my fingers. You can see them right here. Hello.
I can't. I'm looking at a screen telling me who's got more points.
Okay, well, that's 2. Kane and Son. Salah.
Yep.
Fernandez.
Yep.
Vardy.
Yep. And pass it around. You've been very selfish with the easy one.
Rob's just said Zuma.
Zuma.
Zuma's a good one. That's got to be, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Chilwell.
He has 1 more point than De Bruyne.
Dominic Calvin-Lewin.
Correct.
So we need 2 more. What do we think, boys? Harry, have you got any?
Oh, I told you.
Rob, you're just miming. I don't know what you're doing there. What's going on?
I didn't want to cut ahead, but Jack Grealish, surely.
Okay. Who?
Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Going with that, are you? Yeah, he's ahead. Jay,
So we
what
need
were you
one
saying?
No, I was going to say Grealish.
Okay.
So we need 1 more.
Rob is gesticulating again on
Patrick
on his
Bamford.
camera. Oh no, don't
Please,
Bamford.
Please win it on Bamford.
Don't do this to me.
Bamford,
Boom,
please.
it's Bamford, of course it is.
Yes.
Bamford has got more points than De Bruyne. That is ridiculous.
Oh, not just more points. He's got 17 more points.
Ay.
I mean, Mike, you should know that. It was only a few weeks ago that Carl Darlow had more points than any Man City player.
That's
so
true,
shouldn't be a huge shock.
Okay.
Wow.
Good work, team. That's 1-1.
Bamfordinho. Right. Okay, so Ant, that means you do ask your deciding question and you're putting a lot of trust in Jay, Harry and Rob. And by that, I mean in Jay and Rob.
Okay, so my one here has got 13 possible answers. And we're looking for players who have been bought in by more than 40,000 players this game week.
Oh, what?
So think about informed players, boys. There's quite a few. There's some pretty obvious names on this list. That's all I'll say. So there's 13 names on this list who have been bought in. So how many do we think? Who's going to go first?
This game week, yeah.
This coming game week, yeah.
For this coming game week or the game week just gone?
For the Boxing Day fixtures.
The Boxing Day
Boxing
fixtures.
Day
Yeah.
fixtures. Right.
What do we think?
Total there are?
There's
13.
13
in total to beat to find.
Are you waving, Rob, or are you saying 5?
I'm saying 5. Let's go for 5.
Yeah, 5.
I reckon we can go
5.
6, Lewis and Matt. I reckon we could do 6.
Let's do it.
Do you want to do 7?
Jay, do you reckon you could do 7?
Yeah, we can do 7.
Oh, well, at that point, I say, thank you, gentlemen.
Come on, team. Come on, boys. You can do this.
We've reeled them in there, lads.
Off you go then. Let's hear it.
Harry, what do you think?
I think I can get La Bamba in my team, Patrick Bamford, but that's something else entirely. I've just thought of. Don't come to me first, please.
I mean, is Patrick Bamford one of your answers?
No.
You sound like you want it to be, Ant.
I'm asking if it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
that's very good.
what, and he's
Yeah,
gonna tell you?
Yes, we'll have Patrick Bamford.
Oh, that's number one.
Good, good news. Right.
6 more to go, boys.
Oh, what just
So
happened?
I've played my part. Right. So,
Come on, Jay. Come on, Rob. I mean, we've got one answer here so far.
Surely Mo Salah.
Going
Salah is top. Yep.
Fernandez.
Is third. Yep. So we've got the top 3. Salah, Bamford, and Fernandez are the top 3 brought in this week.
Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob.
He's got a yellow. He's got a yellow by his name, Jamie Vardy.
Rob, that's
Nothing.
yeah, that's not right, mate. That's
Oh,
that's good night Vienna for me, my friend.
Oh, Rob.
he doesn't really care, does he? There's no consequences for him.
No, I mean, I'll just quickly run through the list: Salah, Bamford, Fernandez, Firmino,
Oh.
Neto, Robertson, Che Adams. I brought him in this week. Dallas of Leeds, who seems to be on a scoring glut since I put him on my bench. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Vestergaard of Southampton, Ward-Prowse, Grealish, and Son of Spurs. That was your 13.
Oh dear,
Wow.
oh dear, Rob.
I think
Anthony.
there is. I thought like everybody already had Salah and Fernandez.
Yeah, I would have thought that as well.
Well, I've only bought in Fernandez for the first time this season this week. But yeah, Salah was bought in by over 200,000 players this week.
Well, they're all copying Harry.
well, I thought everyone had him already, surely.
Yeah.
Apparently not. No.
That's confusing. Well,
Well,
it's differentials, isn't it? That's what you're always going on about.
Well, indeed.
One of the phrases I don't understand from your podcast, but that's what you're always talking about.
Oh, that is a 4th successive defeat for me. That hurts.
And I was kind last week, and it would be silly to be kind this week,
It really
Even
would be
though-
silly.
Even though it's Christmas.
especially because it's Christmas. Because it's,
Okay, good.
it's a Grinchy Christmas.
Oh, okay, lovely. Okay, well, thanks, mate.
Well, I was kind last week. You can't expect kindness twice.
No, this is true. This is true. Oh well, there you go. Celebi.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, we'll see what happens on that at the weekend, and Ant will post his team up online. Right. Let's move on then to what, Anthony? You did the running order.
I did. It was highlights and lowlights, which we have covered. So it's on to our preview of Boxing Day, boys.
Oh, and our fixture's going to be cancelled.
Well, the Bournemouth game's already off, isn't it? In the Championship, the first Championship game, I see is off because of COVID. So there's a possibility. There's 3 already in League One I saw as well. So yeah, the first game is Leicester Man United. What do we think here? Who's a standout player from that?
They're both counter-attacking teams, aren't they? I think we've said this before, but you've got 2 teams that's going to be first to blink, really, I think, because you saw against Leeds how not to play against United, which is to, bombard them from the very off and be hit on the break. So, yeah, that'd be an interesting one. It's going to be a bit of a tactical battle, I think, between the 2 managers.
Well, of course, United have been behind in every single away game this season and turned it around in all of them. So they may struggle to do that away at Leicester. Although Leicester have already lost as many games at home this season as they did in the whole of last season, 4. So who knows? Maybe they may buck the trend and go ahead first. I'm really hoping Fernandez does something now. I've finally brought him in.
Both teams to score.
Yes, agreed.
I can exclusively reveal that Vardy is injured, unfortunately, so that could be a factor, couldn't it?
Is it his wrist again?
Could be.
I think it was his groin. I think he said he'd be fine. He hurt his
Sorry,
groin.
hang on. He injured his wrist and then his groin.
Different incidents, Ant.
Oh, okay.
They don't all get the same injuries as you.
Oh dear. Move on quickly.
Game
I
2.
would probably suggest not the standout game of the weekend. Villa Palace at 3:00 on Boxing Day. Interesting to see how Palace react after their drubbing to Liverpool. What do we think here? I'd be looking at maybe Jack Grealish in this one.
Yeah, it's 2 teams that are really, really tough to predict. So, which doesn't make great podcast. But
Villa are all or nothing, though, aren't they?
Hmm.
I mean, you look at Watkins, for example. He gets either tons of points or does nothing, which is
Well,
more often
he's only
the case.
scored in 3 games this season, hasn't he?
Yeah,
in
and
the
he had
youth
some chances yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Has
Well,
anyone here who here's got Watkins because he's been in a lot of
Me.
teams. You've got him, Jay.
Jay,
Yeah,
are you a
I've
Villa
got
fan?
No, I'm not. I'm a Liverpool fan.
Are you a Liverpool fan? I just detected a Midlands twang. That was all.
Yes, I am originally from the Midlands.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I just thought they might be your local team, but
No,
no. Okay.
my local team's Coventry.
Oh, play up, Sky
Oh.
Blues. Yeah, our second team.
Yeah.
All of us, actually, myself and Phil. Yeah, our second team. Lovely stuff. Sorry. Anyway, so you've got Watkins and you've stuck with him.
Yeah, because I have to, because I've had other fires to put out in my team. So I just left him in there, hoping that he'll do something. But I'm hoping Barkley's back. I think since Barkley's not been injured, Watkins has tailed off. So I'm hoping that he comes back soon, because I think he'll make a big difference. Because he runs the channels, which frees up space for Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right there.
Big shout out for Andrews Townsend, who got me 0 points this week. So there you go. Who you need.
I think Palace tend to do a little bit better too in games. They're able to have the ball a little bit more and have Zaha exert his influence over the game. But when you just possess against them, I mean, we saw it against Liverpool, right? I mean, there's gaps. You can hit them up for a few goals. If they don't have that possession, they really do struggle to score much, don't they?
Yeah.
Have you got
really
any
do.
Palace players, Matt?
Zaha, yeah. I had Mitchell for a little while. He was off to a nice start, but I don't think he's played much lately, has he?
No, he's not. He's definitely got me 0 points on my bench for the last sort of 6-7 weeks.
Yeah. And you kind of figured maybe with Van Aanholt coming back that might be the case, but he played so well at the start, and then I think he got hurt, and it's like, well, that takes care of that, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they're pretty dreadful to watch sometimes, though. It's not good viewing.
If Zaha doesn't play well for Palace, they don't tend to do a lot, do they?
No, not at all.
No.
Really.
But
So moving-
Zaha's capable of getting huge amount of points.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, I've ridden that in a couple of weeks so far this season. I like him, especially at that price point. I think he's really good value. But yeah, you are going to have your weeks where you're just sitting there like, okay, do something, please. Anything.
Yeah, you're right. You're damn right. Right, Anthony, next.
Fulham, Southampton. So Fulham can count themselves pretty unlucky. They didn't win at Newcastle at the weekend with that. Well, it wasn't a penalty, was it? Callum Wilson just threw himself to the ground. Southampton flying along the season. What do we think there? Away win, I'd go for by a narrow
I'd like a
scoreline.
Southampton clean sheet would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've just bought in Che Adams and I've got Theo Walcott, so I'd quite like Southampton to score a few goals personally.
If Ings is injured again, then Walcott will be playing up front again, won't he?
Well, I mean, Che Adams, like I've bought him in. He's, I think, was the 6th highest bought in player this week. So there's a big chance for him to make hay while Ings is injured.
You don't have to bang on about which players bought in and you lost. Deal with it.
Oh, all right, really big balls. Yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting game. Anyone got any thoughts on that one?
I forgot what the game
Can't see
was.
Southampton win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I liked him for a clean sheet in that one too, to be honest. I think Vestergaard, again, good value, and a lot of people, like you said, have brought him in too. I've tripled up on Southampton in pretty much every league. I think they're tremendous value, especially at pretty low price points.
You're right. Yeah, I've been trying to get rid of De Bruyne and fund bringing in Trent at the back, and every replacement I look at seems to be Southampton. I'm looking at a -12 at the moment, but I haven't made the changes. But every option I look at is Southampton for value. They're brilliantly priced.
You've got to
Yeah.
remember Anderson's going to be suspended for Fulham, so they're going to be a lot weaker at the back because he's kind of really shored them up.
Yeah,
So
he's
with
true.
him, you can see Vestergaard being a real danger in the box as well.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, no. Oh, how annoying. So I thought I bought Vestergaard in last night. I bought in Bednarek. Oh, I'm so cross with myself. So cross with myself.
Mike, I do feel there wouldn't be a pod without making a live transfer.
Don't.
Maybe even for one where somebody's injured, like you did with the goal. Oh, actually, no, somebody who's not being selected, like you did with Matt Ryan last week, which actually was probably my second highlight.
We had Seamus Coleman a couple of weeks ago as well. I mean, yeah, this has not gone well.
You really are the gift that keeps on giving.
Bednarek.
I want Vestergaard, but it'd just be free Southampton defensive assets, which seems nuts.
Yeah, that's
Too
well.
crazy.
That takes one goal, and your week isn't going so well, is it? So
Yeah,
it's
I had a
never
change
three.
of tact last week. I decided to get in as many big guns as I could. So I had Salah, Fernandes, Son, De Bruyne, Kane, and then that was about it. Chilwell, if you kind of call him a big gun. But then I also had Ollie Burke,
Oh yeah.
who came on, got booked, and got me 0. And the rest of my team was fairly awful. So I'm thinking I can't really continue that way. So I might have to split De Bruyne's money. Rob, you had your hand up. Very classroom.
I just, there's a lot of opinions I didn't want to butt in. So, am I the only person who's sitting in camp Fulham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They nearly nicked a win against Liverpool, and they played quite well against Newcastle away from home. And their home form, I mean, you can't really say form with Fulham that well, but it's better than their away form. And I just think Southampton on the road, there'll be goals, but Fulham could. And I think I've bought in Ademola Lookman, so I think at 5 million he could do something. So,
well, he's done pretty well for himself, hasn't he? After that Panenka that went wrong.
After the PK, yeah, terrible PK.
Wasn't the best. Right, moving on then. 5:30, Arsenal Chelsea, bit of a London derby here. For me, I think if Arsenal lose another game, Arteta's in trouble. There is a certain Mr. Howe who's still available. If any Premier League clubs want him, the longer he's out of the game, the less likely he is to get a big job. So you never know.
I don't want to not like Eddie Howe.
Everyone loves Eddie Howe, don't they? I would expect Chelsea to win this game.
Chilwell's out. James is potentially out. That's a lot of their attacking force that they've been doing so well with the early part of the season gone. Depending on what's wrong with Chilwell, he kind of turned his ankle into the grass. So that could either be something that can be fixed with a bit of ice, or it can be could be quite long term if it's ligaments.
Could have been a precaution.
Who comes in for Chilwell at left back? Is it Alonso?
It must be Alonso.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Emerson at the moment.
Emerson.
He came in today.
Who came in today?
Emerson.
Emerson.
Oh,
Okay,
Emerson,
that's interesting. All right. So he might be an option then for folk. He'll be cheap, I should imagine. Emerson.
Anyone think Arteta could go if they lose here?
Too bad. Big
Yeah, I
Six
do.
off the market. I mean, that's the guy to keep them up. I feel so weird saying that.
Sorry, Matt. Are you suggesting Allardyce should go to Arsenal? Did you just say?
I mean, they could use him, couldn't they? It seems like they're not scoring anyway.
Yeah, well, he's very George Graham, I think, in his style. It would be rolling back a couple of decades in terms of Arsenal, but
go get Pulis. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's doing a great job at Sheffield Wednesday.
My shout for Arsenal would be Rafa Benitez. I think he would be
Good
something.
shout.
Just seeing what Mourinho's doing and Ancelotti's doing, these guys with experience that everybody's turned their noses up at, they seem to be doing their stuff with Everton and Tottenham. I think Benitez back in the Premiership.
Yeah, big name.
That's a really good call. I'd love to see him back. I quite like Benitez.
It's interesting, isn't it, the way that clubs seem to flip-flop between young, promising, up-and-coming managers with potential to experienced heads. And if one's not working, they'll flip to the other one and then back again. And you see kind of basket cases of clubs that do that. Watford are a great example of that. They'll flip from one to the other. I think Arsenal are in danger of going down that route themselves. I don't know, it was tongue-in-cheek talking about Eddie Howe, but there's no way that Arsenal would look at anybody like Eddie Howe because they've gone for an up-and-coming and it's fallen flat. So, I think this experienced heads we're talking about, but Benitez is not a bad shout.
Eddie's not going to London. It's far too far from Dorset. Away from home.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, that's very true, that, Harry. Right, let's move on then to the 8 o'clock games. We've got Man City back at the Etihad at home to Newcastle. Newcastle, who conceded probably the greatest own goal in Premier League history over the weekend when Matt Ritchie got hit in the face and it flew in, which was absolutely hilarious. Now, the last time Man City played at home was at home to West Brom, and I said they'd win that one easily 3-0, and of course that didn't happen. However, I think they will this time. 2 or 3-0 here, and I will be I was going to captain De Bruyne, but now I know that's
you won't be captaining De Bruyne, don't worry.
Okay, lovely. I look forward to Zuma being my captain or something along those lines. So yeah,
that would be generous.
Any possibility of a Newcastle upset here?
I can't see it. One of these days, I think De Bruyne and City need to just click. And I know it was sort of a false dawn against Burnley, because that was just tradition that they beat Burnley by that much. But they've got to click soon. That's the only reason I've kept. Mike, you look very strange walking around in that gear.
I don't know if he looks like a shepherd or if he just looks like he's had a really bad head injury and he's got a massive bandage.
Oh, Mike, you've done something to your audio. I can't hear you.
Oh no!
There we go. Sorry,
there
sorry
you are,
about that. I've got to tell you. I said to my wife when I got changed into this. Actually, this is my new dressing gown. It's super light. It's super comfy. Yeah.
Where did you get it?
Well, we did a live kind of carnival nativity thing at the weekend, where we dressed locals up and put them on vans and lit them and took them around the village and raised money for charity.
That was you lit them, not licked them.
I definitely thought you said licked.
Didn't lick them. And when I say we lit them, we didn't.
That is not COVID safe.
No. And when I say lit them, we didn't douse them in petrol. We put some nice stage lighting on each van, and kind of took donations for work with the homeless locally. And yeah, it was a spare, so I thought I'd make use of it tonight.
It does
look a gift horse in the mouth, Mike.
No, absolutely.
Mike, we were just saying, do you can you see any claim here for Newcastle getting anything at Man City?
No, I think they'd have to get very lucky in the way that they did up at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where they got that late equaliser. Sorry to rub it in there, Lewis, but the late equaliser where they were battered for 90 minutes and sort of held in there for a 1-0 defeat and then snapped something at the last. It would take something similar to that, I think. That said, as you mentioned, we fully expected them to lose and lose West Brom to lose and to lose heavily last time out at the Etihad, and that didn't happen. So it's not the foregone conclusion it would have been 12 months ago. Let's put it that way.
No, that's true. Final game then of Boxing Day, we've got Sheffield United, who seem to be going for Derby's record of the lowest points total, home to Everton. Everton have hit a bit of form again. What do we think with this one, boys?
Can I ask, who's still got Calvert-Lewin in their team?
Yeah, I have.
Had him since week 1, mate.
Matt, Jay, you got him?
No, I took him out. I had him from week 1, but I took him out.
Why?
Just because of ownership. Just so many people had it. I just needed to go for something different.
Yeah. I mean, I think he scored more than the standard 2 points, I think, on all but one game week this season I've seen.
He's lucked out recently, though. He ran into a goalkeeper and he got an assist this week, didn't he? Matt, have you got him?
No, I've I had him for a while, and I wound up going with Ings, Kane, and the aforementioned Bamfordinho. Ings is gonna have to go though. I mean, he's just been hurt so much at this point. I just can't keep waiting on him at this point. So DCL probably back in.
Yeah, not bad. Cool.
It's when we get James back. That's the big one. So when we get, I really liked him in midfield, and I'm missing him.
How many injuries is that now?
22.
It's enough.
Including the testicles earlier on in the season and the.
Oh, okay, cool, good.
Yeah.
So we move on to Sunday's games then. So we start with the lunchtime game. The road Leeds against Burnley. Leeds, who everyone seems to be lauding up a lot. I mean, you even saw Roy Keane really lauding them up yesterday after Manchester United took them apart. I don't really see it. I think the Leeds are going to be mid-table, and I would expect them to win this game.
I mean, Burnley have just started to kick in, haven't they? They're a bit of a streaky team, Burnley. And we saw this last season as well. Everyone was writing them off, and suddenly they came good and worked their way up the table. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them go on a run now. They've won their last 2. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you write off Burnley at your peril.
Well, Burnley are just a point behind Arsenal now, which I don't know if that says just how bad Arsenal are or how much Burnley have picked up.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Moving on then, West Ham against Brighton. Comfortable home win here for me.
Yeah, I think Brighton are banging trouble,
Jay, you're nodding. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree. Talk about Eddie Howe. Brighton I can see them, the way they're going, I can see them departing with Potter, and that's a good play. Eddie Howe to kind of come in, step in, try and save them. Because they play
Not too far away.
Yeah.
Just along the coast. Yeah, you go for that, I think.
Well, yeah, it's quite an interesting one with Brighton, isn't it? Because they got rid of Chris Hughton supposedly because they weren't playing exciting enough football and they wanted that. But I'm not entirely convinced Graham Potter's exactly doing that, is he?
And he's got a 10-year contract, hasn't he?
Is he really?
They signed him up last year. They did an Alan Pardew on him.
Oh, wow.
Like an 8 to 10-year contract because they're worried that somebody was going to snap him up.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, they did just scrape a draw against Sheffield United yesterday. So, yeah, I think I agree, Mike. I think they're banging trouble. I think they're going to be down there all season.
Yeah.
So the next one looks like an absolute home banker here. Liverpool, home to Sam Allardyce's West Brom. Can't see anything other than a really comfortable home win here, can we? Unless Klopp puts the kids out or something.
Yeah, a lot of people captaining Salah this weekend.
Phil, can you captain Salah for me?
No, who's your goalie?
Lloris.
Who are Spurs playing?
They've got away to Wolves.
Interesting choice.
Indeed.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, but I won't be captaining Salah.
It's interesting. Yotta's disappeared off the scene, and Firmino's come back in.
Isn't he?
Yeah. Firmino's come back in, and looks a transformed player. Looks like the confidence is back, and he's not a bad price. So he's again in terms of differential, Harry. I think he's not a bad shout up front. Matt, you're talking about taking out Ings. I can't imagine there's a massive price delta between him and Firmino, so that might be worth a look.
Yeah, I think Firmino is about 9.5, which is similar to Ings.
Okay.
How long is Ings out for? Anybody know?
I don't think we know yet. It sounds like he went to the stands and looked fairly, he didn't seem particularly distressed in the second half, just sitting there watching the game. But that doesn't necessarily mean too much, does it? I mean, especially when you got a history of knee problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same knee that he hurt a couple of weeks ago too. I think that left knee. So he's so good when he's on, isn't he? I mean, he's just a goal machine. The problem is you can't count on him staying on, and that's a really big issue, of course.
Yeah, he saw what he could do last season when he actually was fit for a while. He just kept banging him in.
Yeah.
But he's made of twigs, so that's hard.
Anyone got any Liverpool assets outside of the normal ones, outside of the Salahs?
Well, is it time to get Trent back if you haven't already?
He's so expensive, isn't he?
Yeah, Chilwell. If Chilwell's injured, though.
Sorry, Jay, go on.
Yeah, I'm looking to bring him back in, but not for this game, for the Newcastle game. That's kind of where I'm. I just want to give him one more game just to make sure that he doesn't pull another muscle or, so he gets back to full fitness. And Newcastle is where I'm looking at.
I've got Curtis Jones.
Yeah,
good shout.
Who got dropped this week?
He did.
That does make sense.
He did, but he came off I think maybe dropped, maybe not, maybe rested. I think he's rotating his midfield. Maybe he's more important to Klopp than we realise. I'm going to gamble on that anyway.
He's so cheap, isn't he?
Well, yeah, 4.4. So, yeah.
Well, this could be an issue we're all going to have to contend with here is the rotation. I mean, certainly the bigger managers, Pep will do it, I'm sure, with his City team. Klopp potentially. We probably so many fixtures within their close proximity. We're probably going to have some big names, like Salah at the weekend having to come off the bench.
The problem is you've got fixtures on the 26th and 27th, and then you've got fixtures on the 28th, 29th, 30th, and then you've got fixtures on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
You're right.
We know that over this period, there's no way everyone's going to be playing all 3 games.
No.
So a bench is going to be all important over this next couple of games.
Great shout.
How many how many players that are playing do you think you need on a bench over the Christmas period? All 3 or
all 3?
Yeah, and the right 3 as well, because the worry is, it's a perfect storm. Players in your first team are rested, and so are they on your bench. So it's going to need some thought. But I would definitely make sure that you haven't got a host of 3.9 mil defenders on there that have got no chance, or 4 mil goalkeepers.
Rob, what's your views?
Can I just ask, what have you guys done with Mike? That was a really good suggestion. That didn't involve.
Oh.
That was a really smart suggestion.
I think just having you guys in has raised my game. So thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's it's taken 14 game weeks or whatever, and you've come up with wise words from the wise man sat there.
It's a breakthrough moment.
He does have the odd snippet of very useful information. That's probably one of his best.
But will you follow your own advice?
Normally by this point, I'm half asleep on the sofa, kind of, and they throw to me, and I go, Vestergaard.
Or you're just in a like Muller yogurt coma or something.
Yeah, no Muller yogurt's nothing.
Or tuna wrap.
Or tuna wrap. That old classic.
Shame.
So last game then of this game week, boys, Wolves, who have really been struggling this season, really compared to last season, at home to Spurs. Spurs off the back of 2 consecutive defeats. Mike, still think they can win the title?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Even with these defeats?
I think you make Liverpool favourites off the back of this weekend, but I think if you're looking at teams that are going to be close behind, I still have Spurs. I think their squad is a really decent squad. I think the football is not exciting, but I think it's functional, and I think it's getting them points where perhaps in other seasons they might not have done. I mean, we've got a resident Spurs fan here, so Lewis, what are your thoughts? How high do you think Spurs can finish?
We're competing on a lot of competitions at the moment, and still in League Cup and in Europa League. So I think it's going to be a struggle. I'd take top 4 now.
Right.
I'm taking top 4 at the start of the season. You've got to be careful in these game weeks coming up, though, because you've got the big game against Marine coming up in the 3rd round of the Cup. Yeah, resting a few for that one.
Mourinho at Marine, yeah.
I mean, that's going to be incredible, that game.
Yeah. I mean, people are watching it literally from their back gardens.
Yeah.
What I don't think Mourinho...
That's the place where they've got numbers on the fencing going around the pitch, and the numbers correlate to the house number. So if the ball goes over, they can know which house to knock on to ask for it back.
Amazing.
Love that. In real time, Chelsea have just got a second goal. Tammy Abraham, Werner assist.
Yeah.
Matt, with Ings' injury, what about Abraham?
I don't know. And I mean, I've really got to think about this here in the next day or two, but I do have 3.5 in free money sitting there. So I've got some ability to play around here and maybe go at a heavy hitter. I could go for DCL. Firmino, by the way, checking in, I believe, at 9.2 right now, and Ings is an 8.4. Like I know you mentioned that earlier. So could make a run at Firmino. He's finally producing. But I might go Calvert-Lewin. I mean, he's got the track this year. Yeah, there's something to be said for not just ignoring the obvious points to a degree.
Yeah. Abraham's just scored again. Does that change your mind?
Yeah, it's just literally scored live there.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Then again, I mean, I'm also the guy who scored, 27 this week? I don't know.
Don't worry.
33 now. Excuse me. 33.
I mean, it's another assist for Mount, which means the century is on for me tonight. So
yeah, that's 2 assists from him in this game, isn't it now, Mike?
Yeah, that's really quite exciting. Okay, I'll come back to you on that.
Well, that might put you in the top 100 in our league then.
Yes.
Look at his little face. Indeed it is. Anyone can see Wolves winning here? I mean, they did beat Chelsea the last home game.
They lost to Burnley tonight.
It'd be interesting to see what team Tottenham puts out in midweek in the League Cup, because Kane and Son looked a bit tired against Leicester. So,
Oh, was right. We've been joined live by Harry's daughter Matilda. Hello, Matilda.
Hello.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Matilda, how old are you?
8.
8, and you're up at 9:45 at night.
Madness.
Just because it's Christmas holidays.
I went to my friend's house to this festival-like thing.
Oh, okay, cool. And do you think Wolves are going to win at the weekend, or Spurs?
Huh?
Yeah. Wolves or Spurs? Who are going to win? Wolves or Spurs?
Wolves.
Wolves. There you go. So
there we go.
Thank you, Matilda. Thank you very much. So yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.
Well,
I feel like Matilda already knows more than Mike. Quite scary.
Jay, you were making an excellent point.
Sorry.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I forgot what I said. Yeah, the League Cup, it just depends what Tottenham do in terms of rotation, because Kane and Son did look a bit tired. So if he doesn't play a full-strength team in midweek, then I'll be more confident that they'll beat us. But if he's going for the League Cup as well, I can see Wolves nicking it.
Yeah. If he puts, it's a really good point. And Mourinho does like a trophy of any sort, doesn't he? So
this is
he
true.
might go for that League Cup game.
He well might. Yeah, that would be an interesting one to watch. So,
Anthony,
boys,
I've lost my running order because I cut out and lost you all completely. So I've moved closer to my router, but my running order is yonder. Is it punts next?
Oh, indeed it is, mate. Indeed it is. Yeah. So
do you want to briefly explain what the punts are for mainly Harry and Lewis?
Well, every week we all pick a player who's currently got under 2% ownership, who we are looking for to score a goal, keep a clean sheet if they're a defender, maybe get an assist. And that might give us the power to pick another captain. I really could do with one here, boys, after my 4th consecutive defeat here. So I'm going to start us off. I've done a little bit of research today on this one. I had a look, and I've gone for the player who currently has the most points of any of those with under 2% ownership, and that's Harrison of Leeds, who I think, Mike, you picked him a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I had him, and I think he got subbed after 15 minutes. So yeah,
indeed. But
I have him in my team.
Oh, did you?
He's got me 2 points.
Right.
Okay. Well, there you go.
If he's in Harry's team, he's got to be good. But yeah, he's the highest score of those with under 2% ownership at the moment, and they're at home to Burnley. So
that's a nice pick. Yeah,
you never know. So, Mike, who have you got, my friend?
Well, inspired by the call to arms from Rob this evening, asking who was in Club Fulham, I'm going to go Bobby Reid.
Oh,
yeah, that's a
good shout, there, mate. He scored, didn't he, against Liverpool in their last home game?
Yeah, he's got very cool hair, like he's in some kind of 90s rap duo. I'm a fan of his work. So, like a member of Criss Cross, perhaps. But yeah, Bobby Reid.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give him a go this week.
Okay, Phil.
Okay, well, I'll get in. We can ask the others as well, but I'll get in because I know everyone will go for him. I'm going for Ashley Barnes.
Oh.
Yeah, he's back tonight, and he's such a streaky striker. I think I said it earlier in the season that when he does score, he tends to score a few games in a row and then disappears again. So my hope is that he'll score a few games in a row. Who have Burnley got? I didn't plan this too well.
Away to Leeds.
Oh yeah, that's possible then. So yeah. I mean, I love watching Leeds, but they are leaky. So yeah, Ashley Barnes is my punt. Anyone else got a punt this week?
I know you've mentioned him a few times and it's not worked out, but I think this could be the weekend for Sergio Aguero. I think they've got Newcastle. After that, they have Everton and Chelsea. So I think this could be the game that Pep brings him back in, get a bit of confidence, get his fitness, score a couple of goals, and then be ready for Everton and Chelsea. So this could be his comeback.
Yeah, I like that.
They seem like they've wanted to move on to Gabriel Jesus for a while. Aguero's out of contract at the end of the year, and it's just not happening for Jesus at all. I mean, now there's talk that they might have to go get somebody in the winter window. I mean, it's been, as a Gabriel Jesus player, it's been an abject disaster over the last couple of months. At all. And with him up top, they just don't look like scoring. He just doesn't get into the same positions that Aguero does. He doesn't help his teammates out in quite the same way as a finisher. So it's, the question is, I think it's a matter of time when they make the move back to Aguero. Just when do they do it? Exactly.
Throwing him in against Newcastle is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
If he's fit, and that's been the problem. Yeah. So.
Matt, did you also have a punt for this week?
I don't know. I mean, just kind of looking right now, very quickly, maybe Balbuena. He plays every week for West Ham. They've put together some decent defensive performances here and there, so maybe him for a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shout. Home to Brighton. Yeah, good one. Yeah. Rob?
So the point that Matt makes there actually against, well, a few of you guys made about Aguero coming in against Newcastle. I think I remember when times were a lot more fun. I was in Madrid in a bar watching City against Newcastle, and I had Aguero captained a night he scored 4 goals.
Oh.
And I think he absolutely loves playing against Newcastle. So that's really not a bad shout. But for me, I think you guys were talking about Ross Barkley earlier on being a guy who was missing for Villa, and it'll be interesting to see him come back. But I think other than Jack Grealish, John McGinn is 1.7% selected by players. He is a lot more important and creates a lot more than what you guys think. When Grealish doesn't have the ball, it tends to be McGinn who's doing something with it. So I'd pick him this week.
Good chat, mate. They're home to Palace.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with Lewis and Harry. So, Lou, do you want to go first, mate? Have you got a punt?
Yeah, and a bit of an older player who didn't quite cut it at Spurs, but seems to be having a pretty decent season in points. Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Good shout.
Free kicks, takes pens, I think, as well. So,
he put in the corner, didn't he, for the Everton winner at the weekend as well?
Yes.
So he takes corners.
Sitting on my bench with 7 points.
Oh no, we've all been there, mate.
I think the difference is, at the start of the season he wasn't really featuring, and if he wasn't on set pieces because Rodriguez was on all the set plays. So with him out injured, that brings Sigurdsson to the fore. So yeah, I think that's a good shout. And I'm really annoyed because Sigurdsson, I've just realised, would have fitted perfectly in my finale that we're about to move on to. But never mind. Anyway.
Oh, this is really building up to it. So, Harry, over to you, mate. You are the last to pick here.
Right. So he was actually in my team previously. It's Ashley Westwood, or Tim Westwood, as I like to call him.
The big dog. The big dog.
The big dog indeed. Who plays for Burnley? Obviously, you all know he's a midfielder. Yeah, he's my pick because I just found he was the first one I saw with under 2%. So there we go. The winner.
It's inspired.
What we need to do is have a sort of meeting about what's going to happen before we do this in future. I would suggest. Might need to talk about, and I will perform better. Anyway.
Oh, you'll never fit in here full time, Harry, with that sort of attitude. No, planning is
Well, planning is what you don't do.
No, these two quite like a bit of planning.
Sorry, your point is what, Mike?
I'm not really sure. These two like a bit of planning.
What planning have you put in? Dressed up as a shepherd?
Exactly.
What a sexy shepherd he is as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I do believe it is time to pass over to you, my friend.
Well, I'm going to encourage you to join me.
I've been thinking about joining you.
Oh.
And as one person talks, if someone talks over them, it cuts out. So I do think a solo might be better.
Let me have a drink then. This good.
Just to let you all know, Phil and I have had a little preview of this, and this is quite joyous to say the least.
It's a festive treat for you. So I've written this is my stab at Christmas number one. It's my take. John Lennon will be grooving in his grave as I give you a football-inspired take on War is Over. I'm calling it. What am I calling it? Hold on. Let me bring it out for you. This is
Whilst you're looking, I should warn you. If there's any cats in the room, at one point it gets very high.
It does,
and it may alarm them.
Yeah, that's valid. This is called Merry Christwood. Open brackets. Shaw Lewis Ober. Close brackets.
Sit back and enjoy.
I really would like to see you guys while I'm doing this, otherwise it feels very awkward, but I can't see this with you. Okay, here we go. Gotta wait for the cue. Sissoko Loris Chriswood. Juan Mata Jim Dunn. Wijnaldum Garcia, Johan Bird Goodman's son, Leno Diaz Chriswood, Iwobi Allen, Shaqiri Almiron, Rivold Batlon Long, Jan Valerie, Seri Chris Wood, Mané de la Paille, holding it together. Nick Pope, Mitchell, Gundogan, Click Loughton, De Heer, Ivanovic, Chris Wood. I have to get a drop of an octave. Saka, Ben White, Fafana Neto, Dan Redmond. Nailed that one. Virgil van Dijk, Raho Grealish, Chris Wood, Van der Beek, Tahiv Chong, Mitrovic, Fornals, Daniel Podence, Huminson, Valerie, Seri Chris Wood, Mané de la Paille, Nick Pope, Mitchell, Gundogan, Click Loughton, De Heer. I mean, you can't join in, but I was hoping you would. Shaw, Lewis, Oba, Phillips, Pulisic, Shaw, Lewis, Oba, Phillips, Pulisic. Sing along in your heads now. Shaw, Lewis, getting higher. Oba, Phillips, Pulisic, Shaw, Lewis, Oba, Phillips. We're going higher. Valerie, Seri Chris Wood, Mané de la Paille. My voice is going. Nick Pope, Mitchell, Gundogan, rein it in, Butter. Click Loughton, De Heer. And to finish, Shaw, Lewis, Oba, Phillips, Pulisic, Shaw, Lewis, Oba, Phillips, Pulisic. Sing it with me, boys, don't be shy. Shaw, Lewis, Oba. Okay, be shy. Phillips, Pulisic, Shaw, Lewis, Oba. Yeah.
Mike, can I just say that I don't know what I enjoyed more. Was that your beautiful rendition or Harry and Jay looking more and more as if they were about to lose the will to live during that performance? Their little faces, it was absolutely joyous.
I was quite glad I couldn't see you, to be fair.
Oh, God.
Probably a good job.
I was looking at you, Mike, and thinking, I'm witnessing a breakdown.
Yeah, you were.
I mean, it has been a tough year, boys. I mean,
this is the sort of thing that Mike squeezes into the running order on a weekly basis.
Yeah, well, not quite like that, but yeah.
To be fair, that went better than most of his puns.
Thank you.
True. It was a pun song in a way.
There you go.
I've known you for 5 years. I now have a mixture of despair and love. I mean, it's incredible. I don't know what has gone on. I've been here an hour and a half and it's ended like this.
You should be on the pod every week, mate. You should be there every week.
Well, look, Phil, we should thank our guests for coming on. It's having listener interaction. I know Phil works particularly hard on social media with the Fantasy Threesome pod Twitter handle to try and interact as best he can and to raise the profile of the pod, but also just enjoy the community that exists on FPL. So to have you guys on, it's been a real pleasure. So to Lewis, to Rob, to Matt, to Jay, and to Harry, thanks ever so much for coming on to the pod this week. And
boys.
And Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Well, you could. I mean, that would be your perfect exit pun. Oh,
What?
was that?
That
Have I
kind of
interrupted
was.
it?
Well, it kind of was.
Oh,
You missed it.
Every week I interrupt your pun.
Unbelievable.
Didn't even realise it was happening.
Well, all right, I'll do it properly when you're ready.
That's
You
how
done?
seamless they are.
That is true, Harry. That is true.
Are you done? Do you want to say goodbye?
I am Jim Dunn.
Okay, yeah, very good.
Very good, Phil. Very nice.
Okay. Thanks, Anne.
Cheers, boys.
Valeri Seri Chriswood, everyone. Valeri Seri Chriswood.